The Inventor, animated, playful retelling of the later life story of Leonardo da Vinci, expanding on a 2009 short by Jim Capobianco, who writes and directs this. The short was called Leonardo, I think. So the director-writer was part of the screenwriting team that were Oscar nominated for Ratatouille. His other credits include story artist and storyboard artist on Lion King, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Up, Inside Out.
Okay.
Pedigree.
Pretty good.
Okay. So this is clearly a labour of love. It combines stop-motion animation with other forms of animation. Starts in 1516. Da Vinci, who's voiced by... Okay, who would you get to voice Leonardo da Vinci?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, not Leonardo DiCaprio, no. Somebody who's erudite and intelligent and fascinated by ideas and finds things quite interesting.
Christopher Walkin.
Stephen Fry.
Oh, right, yes, you mentioned
Stephen Fry, yeah.
Beginning. Yes, okay,
so
wow.
Stephen Fry. Leonardo is getting grief from the Pope because he cuts up cadavers because he wants to know, what's happening in the body, and he's searching for his secrets, but also searching for perhaps his soul. So then when peace is reached with the French, Leonardo is invited by King Francis to come to his royal court, where he's asked to build a castle. He doesn't want to build a castle. What he wants to do is to build his ideal city. He also picks up his work on the body, because now he's away from the Pope, he can get back to cutting up cadavers, and befriends Marguerite, who is voiced by none other than Daisy Ridley. Here's a clip.
I am an anatomist to learn what makes us work. Is there something inside? Aristotle called it anima, the breath of life that makes us who we are.
What we might call the soul?
See, anima, soul. The question is, why are we here? What is our purpose? What is the meaning of life?
I understand now why you left Rome. Your questions carry with them consequences. Do you not have faith then?
Not that of blind faith, I assure you. That is too easy.
I mean, it's a role written for Stephen Fry, isn't it?
Except that it's just Stephen Fry. It's like a famous person does the voice. I'm back when Ian McKellen did Erik Bjørnson. I'm thinking, but that's not a talking bear. It's Ian McKellen, So I'm thinking, don't get famous people.
And that's why you said Christopher Walken, because when in Dune, it's in space. It's Christopher Walken in space. Okay.
Anyway, but it sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I thought I thought it fitted because I thought the idea of Leonardo da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci being this kind of avuncular character who shares a lot of the beliefs that I think Stephen Fry does about like not blind belief. Anyway, so then later on he's asked to build a bunch of things that will impress King Henry VIII and Charles V, both of whom just want to wrestle. When they have wrestling matches, the wrestling turns into stop motion. Just like a cotton wool ball with like an arm things coming out thing. And then he puts on a stage show about the birth of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things. I mean, I think it's really easy to see why Stephen Fry would want to do this, because it is absolute catnip for him. It's perhaps harder to know exactly who the audience is. I went to the BBFC site, and they said it's a family-friendly animation, engaging animated family adventure depicting Leonardo da Vinci's fight to pursue science in the face of cynicism and resistance from authority. Contains scary scenes which may be too frightening for the youngest children. And then it says, threat and horror. In order to study cadavers, a scientist organises for dead bodies to be stolen from graves and blah, 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 blah. It's tempting, therefore, to say, well, it's too grown up for kids. But if experience has taught me anything, it's that, step away from saying that things are too grown up for kids, because kids have got, an awful lot more ability to appreciate and understand things than perhaps we. You remember when Catherine Called Birdie came out, and that was a 12, and it was 12 for moderate sex references, violence, upsetting scenes. But 12 was exactly the right age, because if it had been a higher certificate, it would have knocked out its key audience. I enjoyed The Inventor. I mean, of course I did. I love stop motion. I love Stephen Fry. I find all the rationality versus religion stuff gripping. It doesn't hurt that when they do the theatrical presentation, it reminded me weirdly enough of Ken Russell's The Devils and the kind of...
Of course it did.
Because there's a sequence at the beginning of The Devils in which they do this great big sort of Venus on the half shell theatrical presentation, which is quite funny. Proof again, as Guillermo del Toro said, that, that animation isn't it's a form, not a genre. I liked it, and I would be very interested to hear from listeners whose kids have seen it, if they do see it, what the youngest child who got it was. I mean, yes, it's not for very, very young children because there's stuff in it that's, probably too philosophical and probably a little bit too creepy because of the stuff with the cadavers. But I would be interested to know what people think, because I thought, if I had a 10-year-old or something like that I thought they would really like it. I mean, I did have a 10-year-old some time
and
ago.
it's a cinematic.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.